Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
He's at the 20.
They should stop this one.
What you got? Domination, snot bubbles.
He throws, complete, touchdown. They've got him again. They've got him again. Sack Crumpler, what a throw, what a hit, what a catch.
Defense is just way too much for the count.
It's caught by Alshon Jeffrey for a touchdown. He pushes, touchdown. Jalen Hurts, touchdown. A.J. Brown, a run. He's going to score.
It's a touchdown by Nick Foles. The train is in the end zone.
Touchdown.
Torrey Smith
In for the touchdown is Jeffrey in. Touchdown. Jalen Hurts.
So the defensive line for the Birds is back, and I have a very strong feeling about this year's defensive line and the guys among the defensive line, and that they can make history this year. But we're going to get into that and much more as we dive into day 4 and 5 of training camp, speaking about some of the things that the Birds did in day 4 and day 5 at practice. To catch you up, let's jump right into it. And as you know, before we really get into it, we have to speak about the injury update for day 4 and day 5, which on day 4 has seen 4 DNPs for the Birds, and that was Danny Gray with the finger, Smile Money with an illness, Makuba with the shoulder, and Devontae Smith with some back tightness. In day 5, seen Zach Bond with back contusions, Danny Gray with the finger, Makuba with the shoulder again, and Devontae Smith with back tightness, Nolan Smith with a concussion, which was very interesting and kind of concerning. And before practice on day 5, we got to hear Vic Fangio speak in Tuesday's practice, and Tuesday's practice was hot at a blazing 91 degrees in Philadelphia. The Birds had their work cut out for them, and you got to love Fangio because he knows this Tampa Bay Week 4 matchup is only in about 2 months, and as a Floridian, I can tell you it's going to be in that blazing September heat, and we'll have our share of hot games in September, where Fangio said if you can't survive out there right now, then you're in a hell of a lot of trouble.
It's not hot today. That's a mindset, you know. We're going to play some hot games in September, and if you cave to a hot day in training camp, we're in trouble.
And we also got to hear about some of the key guys that we've already been following, especially on the defensive line, where Fangio said no one has really surfaced yet, but guys like Josh Uche, who we haven't really heard a lot of noise from, has been competing along the line with Nolan Smith and guys like Jalen Hunt.
I feel good about Nolan, and Jalix is making good strides. You know, after that, we got some heavy competition going on. And, nobody's really truly surfaced yet, good or bad. You know, hopefully over the course of this camp and preseason games, that will play itself out.
And Uche was slightly impressive in Monday's practice, where he was first up at edge rusher in Nolan Smith's place, which was expected, seeing as though Nolan Smith is out with a concussion. But Uche was making noise in practice when, according to ESP, Uche got a sack on Hurts and knocked the ball out of Hurts' hand in what looked like a strip sack. So a really good response to Fangio's "no one has really surfaced yet" comments. Uche showing promise in day 5. In addition to the heat, the pass rush was getting major pressure on Hurts, which meant the pass game was slacking in a practice. But they didn't have the best passing day, but ran the ball well according to Hurts. But Hurts didn't throw any picks. Hurts was 11 for 17 in the touchdown. And overall, Hurts' performance in practice was pretty solid, but could use some more improvement when ESP broke down Jalen's day 5 at training camp, saying, "It's worth noting that pressure was in Hurts' face for a good portion of the passing plays he was in for. A few plays basically had to be blown dead because the defensive lineman was so close to him." Hurts had a really nice anticipation throw to A.J. Brown in 11v11, hitting the wide receiver one along the sideline for about a 15-yard gain along the right sideline. The positive, though, is on a day when it was hot and the offense was struggling, it would have been easy for Hurts to get frustrated and make some reckless throws. Instead, he stayed calm and kept the ball out of harm's way. Winning the turnover battle is crucial for this team, and Hurts continues to be smart with the football. And that was Hurts' main message in day 5, saying how the heat can really fluster you and cause you to make poor decisions with the football.
Yeah, overall, I think, fatigue makes cowards of us all. And, these last 2 days have been very challenging from a heat standpoint, and so everybody collectively as a group just continue to push through those things. Control what you can. I think this is a good test and a measure of where we are right now and where we desire to go. So, ran the ball well. Defense played very well. Connected on some in the past game and got a finish on some. Ultimately, it's just great competition, and that's what it's about in training camp. You talk about building that foundation for a team and establishing the right temperament of a team, and we're coming out here and competing every day, and getting good competition, good work.
Now, I'm not surprised the pass game and the offense in general isn't fully clicking because in camp it's very common, especially with the Birds, that the defense will show up early in practice, which means those guys in the defensive group are already locking in and ready to go. The chemistry, play calling, and etc. still has to be installed in practice, and it needs to be repped out, in order to get a real chance at developing and moving like a well-oiled machine by the time the season comes around, which is why I'm not concerned about the defense showing up early and the offense not. Over time, the offense will gel, and we'll get reports saying that the pass game is clicking and everything is back to normal.
So now that you've gotten more time with Scott Leffler, Parks Frazier, the new guys, how is that going on a daily basis?
It's going well. It's a great dialogue, great communication. We've been talking about this thing of experiences being the biggest teacher and how it's important to learn from every one of those experiences, good, bad, or indifferent. And when you're implementing new philosophical bases in a system, it's important to go out there, get reps in it so you can have something to call on. And so right now we're in a time where we're just making things our own, being different in some areas, also just getting good reps so we can have something to learn from.
Jalen, you guys did some red zone work today. How do you think the offense did in the drills, and just overall, how do you think the offense was today?
Yeah, overall, I think fatigue makes cowards of us all, and these last 2 days have been very challenging from a heat standpoint, and so everybody collectively as a group just continue to push through those things. Control what you can. I think this is a good test and a measure of where we are right now and where we desire to go. So, ran the ball well. Defense played very well. Connected on some in the past game and got a finish on some. Ultimately, it's just great competition, and that's what it's about in training camp. You talk about building that foundation for a team and establishing the right temperament of a team, and we're coming out here and competing every day, and getting good competition, good work. We're still implementing things offensively, and so we've kind of been sitting and saturating ourselves in the thing as time goes on. Last week was a different emphasis. This week is a different emphasis. Next week will be a different emphasis, and so it's a competitive. There are always competitive practices, but it's more so about getting the reps that we need, having the lessons we can pull from so we can continue to grow.
And even Tuesday, day 4 of training camp, Hurts and the boys were also having some issues in the passing game when Hurts threw his first interception to Quinyon Mitchell on the underthrown deep ball downfield to A.J. Brown, which Hurts underthrew it and Quinyon jumped right in front of it, took the ball. Reportedly, Jalen Hurts and the receiver, we don't know who it was yet, was having some miscommunication there, and the offense got off to a slow start, which made Hurts pull the receiver to the side and sort it out. I'm not concerned about Hurts throwing a pick, but I'm more excited about the one-hand interception that Quinyon caught. An interception that I wish could have been caught on video because I can only imagine how extremely dope that pick was. And I can only imagine the type of year that Quinyon Mitchell is going to have. Quinyon Mitchell still making plays, even in training camp. He's going to have another great season. Book it. And with this defense and dominant players along the defensive line, I think the Birds will have the most sacks in the league and more sacks than the 2022 Eagles. Now, before you cut the video off, just hear me out.
I know you're freaking out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out.
The 2022 Birds defensive line sits in NFL history for the most sacks in a season, third all-time sacks. 70 sacks, really 73 if you count the postseason, but that's 70 sacks in a season. That's in NFL history. And I love sacks.
Pause.
And outside of watching the tush push and watching Hurts throw those beautiful deep balls,
Pause. Monetize. Oh, God, that was crazy.
A.J. Brown is probably my favorite thing to watch. And with us already showing up early in camp, getting pressure early in camp, this could be the year in which the Birds take over the league in sacks. With the defense that's, of course, more dominant than the 2022 Eagles defense, and a front four that's looking to be even more dominant. I don't see why these guys couldn't break their own record with at least 80 sacks. I know that's crazy. That's a crazy number. But if any front four can do it, I'm betting on my guys. In 2022's defense from the Birds was dominant. It was elite. Don't get me wrong, but dominant on the front four. The secondary wasn't as good as the secondary in Philadelphia now. But don't get me wrong, as I said, Hassan Reddick, Sweaty J, Javon Hargraves, Brandon Graham, and Fletcher Cox, they were elites. But this front four is even younger with Super Bowl and championship experience. Tracing back to their collegiate days, I think we can outdo the 22. Now back to training camp, and speaking of the defense, Moro Ojomo had another great day at training camp in day 4. He was doing some one-on-one work against Landon Dickerson, winning on a swim move and then getting a sack in the next rep. Ojomo tried to do a little bull rush on Dickerson, which was to no avail, but the boys were putting in some major work with Ojomo showing off his ability early. Ojomo has a great chance to have a big season with the cast of guys on the defensive line. And if he's already winning in reps against guys like Dickerson, who's one of the top guards in the league, he'll definitely have an impressive year in Philly. And Ojulari has been making some noise, Azeez Ojulari, in camp as he generated pressure on the line and got some sacks on Tanner McKee. 1 sack, let me be exact, on the 4th down in the red zone. And the questions surrounding Ojulari may be answered fast as he's getting acclimated already in camp. He spoke about how he can fit in an already dominant defensive line and how he'll match with those guys.
Yeah, man, it's been great, man. We're all pushing each other, learning from each other. We're trying to get better every day. We all just taking it one day at a time, just trying to get better, listening to the coaches and try to see how we can improve every day.
What are you seeing from Nolan Smith and Jalen Smith? I mean, like Dave was saying, they're young guys. And
Yeah.
what are you noticing about them?
Yeah, they're 2 freak athletes, man. They could do it all, and they push each other every day. I love the way they work out here. They work hard. I love seeing it.
How does it help going against that offensive line? You've got a handful of those first-team reps. You got Jordan on the other side.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. You know, they're the best in the game, man. Those two tackles we got, man, they're amazing, and they're the best at what they do. And it's a great competition for us every single day, pushing us every day to continue to improve and get better in our game.
Played them in actual games now that you get a chance to pick their brains. What's that process been like?
No, it's amazing. We're on the same team now. I get to learn from them at practice and take it to my, add it to my game, push myself, get better every single day because I'm seeing them consistently now, and it's just better. I'm just gonna continue to improve with them.
And that was the main takeaway from day 4 of Eagles training camp. Moro Ojomo with those pressures on Landon Dickerson and one-on-ones. Ojulari getting his sacks and pressures, generating pressures on the line. And the offense not having the sharpest day in day 4. Jalen Hurts threw his first interception of camp. And it came to look like a desperation heave to A.J. Brown on a go route. Brown had a handful of plays, but also had a drop in the middle of the field during team drills. So that was the sum of it all in day 4. Also, Jeremiah Trotter has been really showing up and showing out lately. Hearing a lot of news, great news about him in camp. Trotter has been flying around. He got a big hit on Will Shipley, his former teammate, knocked him down and then picked him right back up. Then he also got another pass breakup in the red zone. Don't count Trotter Jr. out of anything regarding this linebacker competition is what Jeff Kerr said when he was reportedly out there today. And I'm not surprised at all by Trotter Jr.'s performance in practice. I mean, look at his dad. He also was getting pass breakups in 11-on-11s versus the starters. Man, I'm so hyped. I'm so pumped for this season. I'm ready to see Trotter Jr. relive his dad's great linebacker moments in Philadelphia. Well, we're 8 days away from the NFL preseason for the Birds opening up against the Bengals, and we will have so much fun this season covering the Birds over here at Eaglecentric. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe so you can get all of the Eagles topics and news here at Eaglecentric. We're covering it all. We're in the thick of things like I've told you before, and it's going to get even more exciting as the days and weeks go by. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe so you can also have a chance to win Eagles tickets here at Eaglecentric. Be blessed. Go Birds.